What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Benchwarmer Sports. And today was a huge day for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They defeated the Orlando Magic 104 to 103 here in Game 5, the pivotal Game 5 of this series, going into tied 2-2 with the Orlando Magic. Got our butts absolutely handed to us down in Orlando. And a lot of people, including myself, were very down on the Cleveland Cavaliers coming into tonight's game. I was expecting the Cavaliers, frankly, to get to lose this game by 10. That's how frustrated and pretty much low on the Cavs I was. Then we get the unfortunate news that Jared Allen was not going to play due to a right rib contusion, which was not helpful to the morale of Cavs fans like myself. But what we wanted to see was Darius Garland be more aggressive. We wanted to see other guys step up. We wanted to see George Niang warm up a seat on the bench because he has been downright awful. And fortunately, we got all three of those today. Darius Garland came out absolutely hot and aggressive in the first quarter, scored 17 points in the first quarter. I think he was 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown. He ended the game with 23 points, cooled off in the second half, only had 6 points the rest of the game outside of the first quarter. But 5 assists, 5 rebounds as well. So 23, 5, and 5 game from Darius Garland. He also, one of the other things that has been pointed out by a lot of different people, and most notably from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, so shout out to them for providing the stats. But Darius Garland usually in his playoff games only took 11 shots, 10 to 11 shots in playoff games since he's been on the Cavs. And tonight he was 9 of 16 from the field, so he took way more shots than he is used to in the playoffs. Typically more on his regular season average. I think is around 14, 15. So definitely we saw a much better version of Darius Garland. He was outstanding tonight. Looking here to see if there was any turnovers. Only 2 turnovers tonight, which is absolutely outstanding. This is what we wanted to see as well. Turnovers were a huge thing going into the game with the Cavaliers. Did not want to see any costly turnovers, any dumb turnovers. And when we go and look at the stats here, I'm looking at the Cavaliers app. The starting lineup here for the Cavaliers had a combined 9 turnovers. So Mitchell led the way with 4 turnovers. You don't want to really see that. You want to see him clean up his possessions. But 9 turnovers from your starting lineup is not terrible. But definitely would like that to go down, especially with Donovan Mitchell with 4. Garland, like I said, only had 2 turnovers. Everyone else in the starting lineup had 1. So pretty much a good, clean game for the most part from your starting lineup. Then what we wanted to see as well, George Niang sit on the bench, struggled pretty much all season long, or all series long, excuse me. Coming into tonight's game, George Niang and Max Strus were combined 4 of 27, I believe, or 4 of 28 from 3 tonight, going into tonight's game. And 3 of those 4 made 3-pointers were from Max Strus. So definitely not a good series at all from George Niang or Max Strus from that matter. And going into tonight's game, coming off of Saturday's game, I have been shouting from the rooftop saying I wanted to see Marcus Morris. He has a lot of playoff experience for Boston and other teams like that, Los Angeles. I wanted to see him come out here. He's a very physical guy, very physical defender, and he absolutely came out and took all of George Niang's minutes, and he absolutely did the most with those minutes. He absolutely came off the bench, 12 points in 25 minutes, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, 4 of 9 from the field, and crucially, 2 of 5 from 3. So he is 40% from 3. Absolutely outstanding minutes. And as well, on that Evan Mobley block, which we'll get into Evan Mobley here in just a second. But Evan Mobley's block, if you watch the replay, you can see Marcus Morris absolutely boxing out. I think it's Paolo Banchero underneath the baskets, letting Max Strus go down there and get that rebound to secure the victory for the Cavaliers. Huge minutes from Marcus Morris. I was so happy that JB finally took him 5 games to do it. Took him 5 games to adjust his lineup, but finally he listened to some of our complaints. Put in Marcus Morris, and Marcus Morris absolutely delivered. He also put in Sam Merrill for a little bit as well. I think Sam Merrill only had 5 minutes, only shot two 3-pointers, missed both. So Sam Merrill didn't really get an opportunity to really try and get into the game. But going on, Max Strus was getting a lot of hate, including from here. Like I said, 4 of 28 combined with him and George Niang from 3 when they were brought in to shoot 3-pointers and be your shooters to open up and space the floor for, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, all those guys. Wasn't good. Tonight, Max Strus stepped up. Max Strus stepped up in a big way, was very quiet in the first half, and absolutely came to life in the second half when you needed him the most. I believe he had 12 points in the third quarter alone, which was just absolutely outstanding, what you wanted to see. But he ended the game 16 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. So absolutely great game from Max Strus. 6 of 13 from the field for 46%, and 4 of 10 from downtown, 40%. Just absolutely a great game from Max Strus. You wanted him to come out, be, confident in the 3-point shot. He struggled very mightily in that first half, was not making anything pretty much in that first half, struggling very mightily from the field. But in the second half, when you needed him the most, he came to life. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to do, what he was brought in here to do, give you that playoff experience from what he had from Miami, and absolutely delivered tonight in a crucial game 5 for you at home. Now, the big thing, let's see if they can do it on the road in Orlando on Friday night. But then we also have to talk about Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, I think single-handedly, you can probably say won the Cavaliers the game the last 90 seconds of this game. If you go back and watch his defensive play in that low block, just absolutely phenomenal from Evan Mobley. He gave up that little layup to Franz Wagner to make it a 2-point game or a 1-point game at near the end of the game. But if you watch his defensive skills and his defensive plays against Paolo Banchero, I think Paolo Banchero wanted to drive left-handed. Evan Mobley just absolutely closed out on him, met him match for match, blocked his shots. I mean, absolutely incredible. Then, not to mention, was able to move around in the paint, get open, so Garland can get off an assist, Max Strus can get off an assist. Evan Mobley came out tonight, was absolutely fantastic. I think, let me get the stats here. Evan Mobley finished tonight with 14 points, 4 assists, 13 rebounds, including 3 offensive rebounds, which was huge for us. 7 of 11 from the field, 2 blocks and 2 steals. Just absolutely stuff in the stat sheet. I mean, if a lot of people, I said this on Twitter as well, a lot of people have been complaining about Evan Mobley and that they haven't seen any, progression from Evan Mobley. Well, if we had this type of game from Jared Allen, everybody would be going nutso for Jared Allen, saying that this was a great game for him. Same thing with Evan Mobley applies here. Evan Mobley literally stuffed the stat sheet. He literally had 2 blocks, 2 steals, 13 rebounds, 3 of them were offensive, 4 assists, I think, right? 4 assists, 14 points, missed 2 free throws, which, probably you would like him to make both of them. But absolutely fantastic play by Evan Mobley. You wanted him down low in the paint. You have to replace Jared Allen because of, him being out. Very, very good minutes from Evan Mobley tonight, and making the game-winning block, making the game-winning shot, basically down the floor. Very, very good performance from Evan Mobley, in my opinion. But now I do want to talk about some of the issues that I have had with tonight's game. Donovan Mitchell did not play good tonight at all. At least he did not play to the level that Cavs fans should be accepting of. I understand he scored 28 points, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, but again, poor performance from the field, 9 of 23 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, which is not good at all. I saw a tweet, I believe, from Hayden Grove. But essentially, if you take out Donovan Mitchell's 1 of 7 from 3, the Cavs shot 40% from 3 tonight. And, that, I mean, Donovan Mitchell's 1 for 7 definitely lowered their percentage down for threes. Um, but yeah, I mean, he made the big three. His only three of the night was in the fourth quarter when he needed it the most. So props to him on that. I'm glad that he's able to score 28 points, but not efficient enough. 23 shots, 9 of them made. Uh, he needs to figure it out. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Donovan. I understand that he said earlier in the season that he was exhausted by the end of it. Um, it's definitely very worrying for me for a wide variety of reasons. If we can get the same production from this starting lineup, and I would kind of like to see if we could throw in. I would like to see if we can throw in. If we have to, if Jared Allen's going to be gone for Friday night's game, I would like to see if we can add in Marcus Morris as your power forward instead of Okoro. I think that would be an interesting lineup to go with JB. Because I know Okoro had 8 points, hit a three. I think he had two threes tonight. Let me look here. Yeah, two threes, 2 of 6 from three. So definitely, you like to see that from Okoro, but I feel like having Marcus Morris come into the starting lineup if you have Jared Allen out gives you that physicality in that starting lineup. Then he can guard Paolo Banchero. He can guard Franz Wagner if you need him to. I think that would be a really interesting idea matchup wise for JB to consider if you have to use another power forward, if you have to slide Evan Mobley down to the 5 if Jared Allen is out. Definitely something I would consider. But the other thing I do want to talk about is the bench. The bench did not do good today at all either. And this is why I feel like it's a repeat of games 1 and 2 for the Cavaliers tonight. They did enough to win. They did not play good enough. I don't think they played good enough at all, especially the bench. The bench was downright horrendous. I understand they were going with a 4-man rotation, but you had, Levert, Sam Merrill come in for a couple minutes. Marcus Morris having the most minutes. He had 25 minutes. Karis LeVert had 19 minutes off the bench. Tristan Thompson coming in for 8 minutes off the bench with 3 assists, believe it or not, and 1 rebound. But combined total, your bench only gave you 15 points throughout the entire game, which is not it's not sustainable at all. Karis LeVert still is struggling in this series, just not doing good at all. And 12 of those 15 points came from Marcus Morris. That's just not it's just not feasible. It's not feasible. Someone on that bench has to step up. And I mean, I'm glad that Marcus Morris is finally, getting an opportunity. He took, like I said, he made the most of it tonight. And I'm excited to see, him going forward in the playoffs, hopefully in the second round and more to come. But your bench needs to step it up because 15 points off the bench and having 89 points, 89 of your 104 points coming from your starters and 15 only coming from your bench, that's not sustainable at all. Let me look and see what the Magic had while I'm here. The Magic had 30 points on the bench, so they doubled your point total on the bench. Now, granted, they had a 5-man rotation on the bench. Markelle Fultz had 7 points. Cole Anthony with only 2. Joe Ingles 6. Jonathan Isaac 7 points, and Mo Wagner with 8. So yeah, I mean they're getting production from their bench. They've doubled your bench production in this game, and again, starters just did not play well for the Magic. And like I said before, I think that this game, the Cavaliers did not play good. The Cavaliers did not play as good as they probably could have, should have, and have done so before. The Magic just played worse. They were missing shots. Paolo Banchero went off tonight. He went off tonight, 39 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds. Absolutely just going nuts. 14 to 24 from the field for 58%, 4 of 7 from downtown for 57%, 7 of 8 from the line. I mean, just absolutely, carrying the starting lineup. You look at the other guys. Jalen Suggs, 13 points. Franz Wagner, 14 points. Gary Harris didn't even score. He didn't even do anything on the court worthy. I mean, no points, no assists, no rebounds. Wendell Carter Jr., 7 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, nobody outside of Paolo Banchero played decent tonight. Um, and, you won by 1 point. And that's mostly due to your bench not producing like it should be producing, and Donovan Mitchell not doing not being efficient enough at in the field. It's just that simple. It's not a hard thing to wrap your mind around. The Cavaliers are not playing good. They're just the Magic are just playing worse, and that's the case. That's been the case on the road. They just play worse on the road versus when they're at the Amway Center or the Kia Center, whatever it is now. It's always going to be Amway to me. But yeah, it's just the Cavaliers did not play great basketball tonight, but they were able to play well enough to win. They made the plays down the stretch when you needed them. That's where you had Marcus Morris, Evan Mobley, guys like that playing with toughness, making the plays that count the most, and you're able to squeak out a 1 point win. Really, it's a 4 point win. They just hit a three at the end of the game, when the game was already out of reach by then. But yeah, I mean, they got to clean it up. They have to clean it up. They have to be better on Friday night because they've struggled in Orlando. I don't know what they're going to do with Orlando, but 15 points from your bench is not going to cut it, especially if Jared Allen's going to be out next Friday on Friday night. Where are you going to get that other production from? I mean, Marcus Morris Sr., I would like to see him moved into the starting lineup if that's going to be the case. But Isaac Okoro with 8 points, Karis LeVert with 3 points, it's only 11 points. I mean, you're going to have Sam Merrill has to get some minutes and play. I mean, Tristan Thompson was in for 8 minutes. He didn't score. He had 3 assists though. I mean, you're going to have to find someone. I mean, do you put George Niang out there again? He's a 3 point shooter. But yeah, it's not pretty. It hasn't been pretty. That's to say the least. It has not been pretty for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But they find themselves with a 3-2 series lead and one win away from going on to the second round. Maybe playing Boston, or no, they are playing Boston. I think Boston won the series. I have to double check because I have not been watching that series pretty much at all. But if that's going to be the case, they're going to probably be down Kristaps Porzingis, which would be huge for the Cavaliers. If the Cavs go on to win the series, that is. But yeah, I mean, Cavaliers have to find a way to play better, especially down in Orlando. And Friday night is going to be that big game. Do they have it in them to close this series out on the road? If not, Game 7 back here in Cleveland on Sunday. And it's definitely going to be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to watch. But anyways, this has been a long video. It's been 18 minutes. I'm going to leave you guys right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this type of content, you like Cleveland sports or just sports in general, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We are back for the time being. Maybe not for the time being, but we're back for right now. I'm going to explain what's going on with my schedule, why I left for longer than I really anticipated, what is going to be going forward, what I'm going to be doing in the future, what's going to be happening going forward with this channel. So, and I would like to have your guys' feedback. I'd like to hear from you guys because you guys make this channel what it is. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be making a video soon, laying it all out here. I want to see what you guys think. But anyways, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys all in another video. Take care.